Hey guys, it's Nick here, and today we're going to be bringing you a Let's Play of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare is the 14th installment in the Call of Duty franchise, and was developed by Sledgehammer Games and later published by Activision on November 4th, 2014. It was developed for various platforms including the PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, but with special emphasis on the PS4 and Xbox One. Upon release, Advanced Warfare dominated the first-person shooter genre, enjoying both incredible financial success and community reception, and was declared an improvement over its predecessor, Call of Duty Ghosts. As mentioned, Advanced Warfare is a first-person shooter. It falls into the category Ludus, as the gameplay is very structured and rule-based, and these rules often vary with different game modes. Advanced Warfare would be considered an action game, as defined by Lindsay Grace, due to its fast-paced gunfights, gore, and requiring the players to have extremely quick reflexes. Advanced Warfare has 4 game modes: Campaign or Story Mode, Exo Survival Mode, Exo Zombies Mode, and Multiplayer Mode. In this video, we will briefly go over the first 3 modes before diving deeply into the Multiplayer Mode. In the Advanced Warfare Story Mode, you play as the protagonist Jack Mitchell, played by Troy Baker, who along with other members of a special ops team called Sentinel, fight to keep America from being taken over by the private militia Atlas, run by the antagonist, Jonathan Irons, played by Kevin Spacey. The story has a very structured linear narrative, demonstrating a person-versus-person conflict. The story mode is almost like a playable movie, as you have no choice but to follow the path specified by the developers, and because of this, the game has no player agency. Every cutscene is pre-rendered, and it makes for extremely beautiful graphics. And in fact, Advanced Warfare won the award for Best Graphics Technology in IGN's Best of 2014 awards. And of course, the acquiring of an A-list actor such as Kevin Spacey does nothing but add to the overall experience. Exo Survival is a cooperative game mode where up to 4 players engage in a wave-based match against AI-controlled enemies. Players can choose from 4 different classes of Exo, which grant different abilities and score streaks. Weapons and score streaks can be upgraded throughout each match. After a certain number of rounds, players are given objectives to perform, such as defending a location or collecting intel from fallen enemies. Upon completing the objectives, players are awarded bonus upgrade points. However, not completing them results in the players being punished, such as having their exosuits temporarily disabled or activating hostile security threats. Exo Survival is played on a game's multiplayer maps, with a total of 13 maps divided into 4 tiers, each tier being unlocked only by playing the previous tier and surviving a specific number of rounds. In the Exo Zombies mode, you and up to 3 other players have to survive against endless waves of zombies. You earn points by injuring and or killing zombies, and use these points to open doors, clear obstacles, or buying weapons and perks to improve your chance of survival. Players can also acquire exosuits in the game mode, allowing them to utilize new movements. Different types of zombies are present in the game, including charger zombies that have increased movement and speed, and electromagnetic zombies that can disable your exosuit when they get too close to you. The multiplayer mode is the most popular mode, and is often what the target audience is looking for. The target audience of Advanced Warfare, or the motivations of the target audience as described by Quantic Foundry's gamer motivation model, would be people who enjoy action, both destruction and excitement, and people who are social and enjoy competition. Further, as described by Bartle's taxonomy, the game is perfect for both killers and achievers. Killers because the game revolves around killing the enemy, and achievers because of the game's ranking system and weapon upgrades. The multiplayer mode has a variety of different game types such as Team Deathmatch, Domination, and Search and Destroy. In each game type, players gain points, called XP, for completing objectives, getting kills, and winning matches. These points are how players level up, unlocking better equipment and emblems, thus giving them an advantage in bragging rights. There are 50 levels in the multiplayer mode, and upon reaching the 50th level, you have the option to Prestige. Prestiging resets you to level 1, while saving your player stats and allowing you to keep a weapon or equipment that would not be unlockable at level 1. You can Prestige up to 15 times, making there a total of 800 levels. Now that we have gone over the 4 game modes, I would like to dive a little bit deeper into the mechanics and game design. Advanced Warfare takes place in a 3-dimensional space, but with the addition of the exosuits, it adds more to the space. Players are no longer bounded by gravity, so gunfights can take place while players hover in the air or run along walls. The rules of the multiplayer mode vary with each game type, so we will focus only on Domination. The operational rule for domination, or how to play domination, is this. A game of domination consists of 2 5-minute rounds, where the main objective is to acquire the most points by holding captured flags. There are 3 flags along each map. A team wins when either the score limit is reached or the 200 score limit mark is reached. An example of a behavioral rule for Advanced Warfare would be to not leave a game just before your team is about to lose. Now let's talk about the objects in Advanced Warfare. There are many objects in Advanced Warfare, but we'll only focus on the main ones. The main ones are guns, the exosuit, perks, attachments, equipment, and the buildings and map layout. Guns have dynamic attributes: the camo, the amount of ammo, its damage output, accuracy, fire rate, range, handling, and mobility. These attributes can be changed with the addition of attachments. The exosuit has both dynamic and static attributes. The dynamic attributes are the modes in which it's in use. Either a player cannot be using the exosuit, or they can be boosting, double jumping, sliding, or strafing. Its static attribute would be its special ability. For example, one special ability is called Exo Overclock. It allows you to speed boost. Buildings and map layout have only a static attributes, that is their size and positioning with respect to each other. This is important because lots of players need to memorize the maps in order to gain advantage over others. We will talk about this more when it comes to the skills. Perks have static attributes, such as Scavenger, which allows you to pick up ammo from dead enemies, or Lightweight, which allows you to run faster. These attributes do not change, but the way in which you use them can. For instance, you have up to 3 perk slots, and a player can choose whether to use combinations of any of the various types of perks. Attachments have only static attributes. What they do is they affect the way the gun is used. For instance, a stock will increase the accuracy and the fire rate, whereas a scope will increase the range but decrease the mobility. Some have adverse effects, just as a scope. Equipment, such as grenades, flashbangs, or jammers, all have static attributes, such as their damage and what they do to opposing players. For example, a jammer will jam the enemy's radar. The skills required to play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare are primarily physical, such as hand-eye coordination and quick reflexes. But there are some mental skills, such as memorizing the map layouts as mentioned before. This gains an advantage to players as they know where the best lines of sight are and where and when not to go places. This skill is less as important, but if you want to excel in the game, it's a must-have. An example of an operative action in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare would be shooting players, capturing flags as an example of domination, or double jumping. An example of a resultant action, in the case of domination, would be leaving one flag uncaptured. Even though the whole point of the game is to capture the most flags and gain the most points, by leaving one uncaptured, this allows for players to spawn trap the enemy, or in other words, they know where the enemy is going to spawn, at the flag that is uncaptured. The supply drops in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare provide an element of chance, as supply drops are rewarded on a fixed ratio reward schedule, but random assortment of items may be found within them, such as weapons, reinforcements, or clothing. Some can be rare, and this adds another element to the game. Now that we've gone over the mechanics of the game, I would like to discuss the design. One important aspect of the design is navigational affordance. Navigational affordance is usually very important, but with the addition of the exosuit, it becomes much less. Aside from doors and windows, players no longer need explicit signages or directioning to tell them where to go, as they can pretty much go wherever they want within the realms of the map. The only boundaries are the outsides, or places that they can't reach. Another important aspect of design is technical affordance. Because we played on the console, we'll focus on the console affordance. The controller with the 2 joysticks allows for great range of motion, as you can fully go 360. The trigger layouts on the back make it so that your fingers are always on the aim and the fire button, allowing you to make quick actions and quick decisions. Sledgehammer Games has also made great use of the tumblers within these controllers. For example, during the story mode, the tumblers will shake and rumble when something big happens or there's a huge shift in the map. This makes it feel like you're really there. Another example is during multiplayer, whenever you're killed or an explosion goes off, the tumblers will shake, and this only adds to the immersion. As mentioned when we talked about the story mode, the graphics are superb. This was only capable because of the next-gen platform, and Sledgehammer Games made full use of this next-gen platform. As stated before, it won the Best Graphics award. Further, the game has a really high refresh rate because of these new consoles. This is important in a first-person shooter, as immediate response and feedback is required in order for a good gaming experience. Advanced Warfare also does a great job with the complexity of the game. They make it so that the complexity of the game grows organically. Each time you level up, it becomes harder and harder to level up. You require more XP and more time put into the game. They also offer options for players who don't feel challenged enough, such as the Hardcore Game Mode. The Hardcore Game Mode features the same game types that are in the standard game modes, such as Team Deathmatch, Domination, Search and Destroy, but with a unique twist. Team killing is enabled, damage is increased, and the heads-up display is limited. This allows for a more challenging experience. Now that we have gone over the 4 game modes, the mechanics, and the design, I would like to finish off by discussing the business model that Activision has in place for Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare is a pay-to-play game. However, a majority of the revenue earned from the game comes from DLC and in-game purchases. Throughout the course of its first year, Advanced Warfare saw the release of 4 different DLCs: Havoc, Ascendance, Reckoning, and Supremacy. Each of these DLCs saw additions of new maps to both the multiplayer and zombies mode, and in the case of Havoc and Ascendance, saw the addition of new guns. Additionally, you have the option to buy the Season Pass, which gives you access to all the items in the 4 DLCs at a discounted price, plus early access to some of the content. As mentioned before, supply drops seem to only add positively to the gaming experience, but because Activision allowed for the purchase of the supply drops outright, it is actually quite the opposite. The option of purchase supply drops allowed for players to completely bypass having to work for them, and it marks an important shift in the franchise. The shift from pay-to-play to pay-to-win. And even though there was a fair bit of outcry from the community, a majority of people did not seem to mind. And because of this, Advanced Warfare earned a large portion of its revenue from the purchase of advanced supply drops. Thank you for watching our Let's Play, and I hope you enjoyed and want to go out and play Advanced Warfare now. Bye!